Hi, everyone. My name is Gorang Gupta, and I'm a business administration major concentrating in information systems. My faculty mentor is Dr. Sean Jasso, and I'm delighted to share my presentation on organizational behavior theories and its application in today's businesses and institutions to increase efficiency and effect and strengthen interpersonal relationships. Before we begin, it's important to define what exactly organizational behavior is. The dictionary definition of OB, or otherwise known as organizational behavior, is the academic study of how people interact within groups. In sort of looking at it through a business lens, OB is a study of employee interactions and the organizational processes that seek to create more efficient and cohesive organizations. In other words, we are studying and analyzing interpersonal relationships that occur within an organization in order to achieve maximum productivity. It's also important to distinguish the differences between levels of management. So if you look at this pyramid over here at the bottom, we see employees. And then right above that would be middle level managers who directly oversee the employees and manage the daily activities. And then on top of that, we see upper level management, which would include titles like CEO, CFO, CTO, et cetera. And these managers manage long-term activities. So going into the history of OB became a huge topic of conversation during the 1920s when major developments in human relations, otherwise known as HR, and behavior management were made in response to the traditional and more industrial management approach. The best known theories today originate from Fayol, Bernard, and Follet, whose contributions led to immense adjustments and improvements in human behavior and motivation in the workplace. So my main question was, how can organizational behavior theories in regards to interpersonal relationships be implemented to target specific problems within an organization? The idea behind this question is that OB theories are very broad and can be applied in various ways depending on the context that you are working in. Whether that is a private or a public company, nonprofit, school club, or even in your personal lives. This presentation is based on a project my group and I researched and presented in our organizational behavior and leadership class. And now I'll be going into the project background. For some context, we were given a case study about a company based in Europe that faced a plethora of financial, marketing, and operational issues. For example, there were many customer complaints, quality control issues, and the company was projected to be bankrupt by the end of the following year. Our task was to act as a third-party consulting firm and thoroughly analyze the company's organizational behavior between different levels of management to problem solve current and rising issues facing the company. The biggest issue to tackle was poor employee job satisfaction. This was due to complex problems in the case study where employees and mid-level managers experienced no motivation to be productive. This mainly occurs when employees have no clear vision of what their purpose or role is in the grand scheme of the company and the market on the rest of society. So our first step was to identify the main problems and create flowcharts to trace back each problem to its potential source or sources. Our second step was to research and study real-life examples of successful implementation of these OB theories. Moving forward, I'll be talking about communication and motivation and how these ideas with specific OB theories attached were able to fix this internally broken company, as well as be implemented in our professional and even personal lives to achieve efficiencies, stronger interpersonal relationships, and higher overall job or life satisfaction. So this funnel represents the environment scale one is working with. In smaller environments, low channel richness forms of communication are highly effective, whereas in larger environments, these same forms of communication would not be as effective and efficient as high channel richness forms of communication, like face-to-face communication and real-time conversations. A great example of this being used is by Google. By valuing an open and transparent company culture, Google teaches its employees that it believes them to be trustworthy and have good judgment. Google believes in internal transparency. That in turn empowers them. Having more information also gives each employee more Having more information also gives each employee more context, which helps them do their own jobs more effectively. Communication is an important factor when it comes to building concrete interpersonal relationships. For our project, we utilize both low channel and high channel forms of communication in order to effectively facilitate communication within the entire organization to keep everyone on the same page and thus reduce workplace aggression and departmental tensions that the company has been facing. To take this a step forward, another real life example is with Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines instilled its new values in their employees by posting them on their main company website. By continuously reinforcing these values, Southwest saw an increase in their employees' happiness, as well as increased efficiency within the company's culture. On the same page, they also posted a section of how employees could live the Southwest way, which includes the new values that were built into the company and their hiring and promotion practices to help employees perceive what is considered desirable and considered valuable and how they could act and how they should act in the workplace. When employees are repeatedly reminded of company values and are shown proven ways to become successful within the company, stronger interpersonal relationships are formed, as well as a boost in motivation. So this leads me to our next main topic. The expectancy theory states that employees' motivation is an outcome of how much an individual wants a reward, otherwise known as valence, the assessment that the likelihood and the effort will lead to the expected performance, which is otherwise known as expectancy, and the belief that the performance will lead to reward, which is also known as instrumentality. This theory was studied and developed by Dr. Victor Vroom in 1964. Many upper-level managers have started implementing and using the expectancy theory in their work environments. They outline specific goals and values they want their employees to achieve and hold. When employees who consistently exhibit behaviors and practices that strongly align with company values, they will be rewarded with the associated raise, which can be determined by upper-level evaluations or overall output regarding the company's mission and objectives. This will alleviate workplace tension within the organization and motivate employees to work harder. By knowing that they could potentially receive a raise, they will follow the expectancy theory, which states that people are motivated due to the desirability of an expected outcome. We were given quantitative data through financial statements and manufacturing operational data. In addition, we received qualitative data on specific areas to improve via written customer complaints. After our calculations and estimates on materials and other resources needed, we were able to come up with a proposed budget that would cost roughly 150,000 euros. This investment may seem costly at first look. However, this is an invaluable investment that we estimate will increase the company's overall growth by 85% in the first couple years of operation post-OB theory implementation. Here, we have our projected financial data for profits versus time chart. As you can see, we, the third-party consultants, were introduced in January, and we conducted our research from February to March. And in April, we implemented our ideas. And since then, we can see rapid and consistent financial growth, with a natural dip in September due to external factors. After our extensive research, we found many of these companies' financial and marketing failures to extend from key organizational behavior fundamentals that required a complete internal makeover of the company. In our presentation, we discussed key solutions and the importance of rebranding company culture, implementing efficient and frequent communication methods, as well as healing the divide and creating common goals between leadership and the employees, all backed with OB theories and real-life examples of other companies' success after doing so. At the end of the quarter, my group and I presented our analysis and solutions in our lectures case study competition, where we received first place. So you might be asking, why does any of this matter? Our research on effective and organizational behavior models reflects important ways current companies, groups, and organizations can develop success internally and prevent future issues through the strengthening of interpersonal relationships via OB theories on motivation and communication. Countless studies have been shown interpersonal relationships are important for one's overall physical and emotional happiness, whether that's in the workplace or in one's personal life. Learning and applying small tactics to improve one's motivation and or communication can lead to stronger interpersonal relationships between coworkers, managers, peers, friends, or family, which can in turn lead to increases in efficiency, satisfaction, and can potentially allow you to live a longer life. Here are my references, and that concludes the end of my presentation. Thank you.